Hi guys, so I want to go over some of the information for your literature review paper. This is the first paper that you're going to write for this class, and it's not a traditional informative research paper. What you're doing is you're taking the information from your research and source evaluation questions and you're putting them into a paper that explains why you're choosing the topic that you're choosing and how your initial research went. So if you haven't finished the research questions, you need to go back and do that, or else you're actually not even able to access the information for this paper because these assignments build off of each other and you need to have that piece before you can move on. So if you go to your bookmarks, I have 2 bookmarks set. I've set a bookmark on the literature review planner assignment details and on the literature review planner itself. And the way you set a bookmark is just by clicking this little tab up here. So that makes it so that you can always access exactly what you need while you're working on it. So here, this explains each part of the literature review planner that you're supposed to fill out. And if you go to Planner and Paper or back to your bookmarks, you can actually download that worksheet here by clicking Download. I already have this download and I've already started to fill out some of that information. So I'm just going to pull that up right here. So the literature review planner is very straightforward. It tells you what you should have for each section of the paper and helps you build your ideas and answer those questions before you're actually writing in that APA template. So I already put in one of my research questions, and if you go back and look at the information on the assignment details, it tells you that you're going to answer why these questions are relevant and how effective they were for guiding your research. So here what I said was that my question was good, but that it needed to be more specific, that I wanted to find more specific sources about classroom tools that I could use for collaboration. So I said if I had rewritten this question, I would have asked, how can educators find and use tools to help online collaboration? And that's basically what I'm looking for. You list your question and then you tell me whether or not you thought that it worked out. And what I like to do whenever I'm writing any paper is I like to start with my body paragraph, so you'll notice that I skipped this first section. That's just my personal preference. If you prefer to write your introduction first, you're welcome to. But the way that I see it is I haven't written my body paragraphs yet, so I don't quite know what to go with up here. I could just start sketching this out, but I feel like it's a lot more helpful once I've gone through this research review at the very least. So the research review is just where you give the title of your first source, and then you explain the main idea, you explain why you chose that source, and then you talk about whether or not that source was biased, if you felt like it gave you good information, if it had enough references, if it was reliable. So kind of evaluating that source the same way that you did on the research questions worksheet. Same thing for source 2. So now for reflection, it's asking you, what did you learn through this process? What have you learned about your topic? And did you notice that your sources all were kind of along the same vein? What kind of pattern did they have? And then here, what gaps were found in the research? It's really asking you, what did you wish you could find that you couldn't find? What source did you have in your mind, like, oh, I hope there's a source out there about this, and you never found? And then it's asking you, how will you adjust your research method? So if you were to do this research again, if you're staying with this topic, what would you do differently? Or would you do everything the same? And so then for your conclusion, it's really talking about how those sources worked for your research and if you're going to stay with those sources. I also want to know, so coming all the way back up here to the introduction, what topic are you going to choose for your informative research paper? So this paper, the literature review, is really reflecting on your topic choice and whether or not you're going to stick with that for the next assignment. So I hope that this has been helpful. As you can see on our course site, I have all of your due dates loaded into the course schedule. So if you click on full schedule, it'll show you when everything is due. And that survey said that you guys wanted things to be due on Fridays or Mondays. I chose Fridays because then you have the whole weekend if you need an extension or if you're late, and it gives you more time to work on your assignments. So please let me know if you have any questions Also, if you go to my instructor information, you'll see that I've included my virtual office hours. So one of the things that I found in my research was that if you want your students to participate in office hours, you need to ask them when the best time is for them to meet. So go ahead and answer this form, submit your answers, and hopefully I can find some more office hours that work for everybody. For right now, my office hours work for me. I have them set for Wednesdays at 9 and Thursdays at 7. That way you can kind of talk to me right before your assignments are due. So if you need anything, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm really enjoying seeing what kind of topics you guys have selected, and it's really fun to get to know you guys through your work. So I'm here. Have a great week.